Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Abdul Basit Sohail from Lahore, Pakistan. Today we shall discuss about subject matter. First of all, let's revise the concept of contract. It is the combination of an offer and acceptance, where one party offers and second party accepts, which gives rise to certain legal consequences. So their offer and acceptance creates some legal obligations, creates some legal consequences with regard to subject matter. The subject matter, which is the topic of our today's video. Let's take example. If Mr. A offers laptop of rupees 100,000 to Mr. B, Mr. B accepts it. So this is the contract. In this contract, Mr. A is offerer and Mr. B is acceptor. But the laptop is the subject matter of this contract. There are three main elements and pillars of contract. Number one, consent, which includes offer and acceptance, which is also called siga. We have discussed in detail in separate video. The subject matter, which is the topic of today's video. And third element or pillar of the contract is parties. We shall learn about this concept in upcoming video inshallah. Subject matter, it refers to the object of contract upon which legal obligations are manifested. In our example of laptop, the legal obligations of the buyer are towards laptop, which he has to hand over to the seller, to Mr. B, and legal obligations of the seller towards laptop are arised. So let's understand again. It refers to the object of contract upon which legal obligations are manifested. Subject matter includes commodity. It can be performance or services in case of tailor, in case of doctor, etc. It also includes the object. Subject matter differs from transaction to transaction. In case of sale contract, the item sold from buyer to seller is the subject matter. Item sold is the subject matter. In the contract of ijara, in the contract of leasing, the usufruct or benefit of the property of the asset given on lease or ijara is called subject matter. So usufruct or the benefit of that asset is subject matter in case of ijara. So in case of hawala, let's understand what is hawala. Transfer of debt from original debtor to another person is called hawala. With an example, if A is indebted to B, A has to pay amount to Mr. B and has claim against C. But Mr. A have to receive some amount from C. He can settle his debt by transferring his claim against C in favor of Mr. B. So this is transfer of debt from original debtor to another. This is called hawala contract. The debt transferred is called subject matter in case of hawala contract. So what is wakala contract? Wakala refers to a contract where a principal authorizes or appoints an agent to do a well-defined legal obligations, legal actions on his or her behalf. So in case of wakala contract, the services are the subject matter. So what are conditions for subject matter? there are five conditions. Legality of subject matter. The subject matter should be legally authorized by Sharia. It should not be against Sharia. Existence of subject matter. So subject matter should be in existence while concluding the contract. There should be no doubt about certainty of delivery by the buyer to the seller. So precise determination of subject matter, legality of underlying cause. Let's understand the conditions of subject matter in detail. Number one, legality of subject matter. Commodity, service, or performance must not include prohibited elements by the Sharia, like wine, pork, intoxicants, cannot be subject matter. So we cannot conclude a contract of these prohibited items. Prohibited to acquire or transfer through contract anything that Sharia declared haram. So anything that is declared haram by Sharia is prohibited to buy or sell. Animals which died naturally or not slaughtered according to Islamic teachings, flesh of swine, blood, pork, wine, intoxication, prostitution. So contract of all these things are prohibited, are not allowed. So public property cannot be subject matter because this is the property of public. The mosque cannot be subject matter. Musical instruments, adultery, obscenity, immorality, fish in the sea which yet to be owned, or mortgage property cannot be subject matter because the right of the creditors and the mortgagee is attached to the mortgaged property. Existence of subject matter, which is the second condition of subject matter. Subject matter should either be in actual existence at the time of contract or it should be capable of being acquired and delivered to a prospective buyer in future. Transactions which involve uncertainty with regard to existence and acquisition of subject matter are forbidden. So there should be no uncertainty in existence of subject matter. So we can understand with some example. Sale of fish still in the water cannot be subject matter. Why? Because their delivery is uncertain by the buyer to the seller. Milk in the udders of an animal, fetus yet in the womb of mother, because these are uncertain. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Sell not what you do not have." Only exception to this rule are salam and istisna. We discussed salam and istisna in separate video in detail. You can have a link in description and can learn more about salam and istisna. Salam is a sale where buyer pays full price in advance and delivery of the subject matter is postponed to future date. So the main condition of salam is the full payment should be in advance. So istisna is the sale contract in which buyer orders an artisan or manufacturer to make certain goods according to the description, according to the order, according to the requirement of the buyer. So in istisna, goods to be delivered in future and the price is paid in agreed intervals between the buyer and the seller. So these are the two exceptions or exemptions to the general rule, which is defined in hadith, that sell not what you do not have. So third condition of subject matter is the certainty of delivery. It is the ability or capacity of the buyer to deliver the subject matter of the contract at the time of conclusion of contract. So buyer should have ability and capacity to deliver the subject matter. If the buyer does not have ability or capacity to deliver the subject matter, so that subject matter is not valid, because the aim of sale is to hand over the subject matter in the custody of buyer. The aim of the sale is to become buyer and owner of the commodity. This condition is applicable to sale contract as well as mortgages and the pledges. So number 4 condition of subject matter is the precise determination of the subject matter. Subject matter must be precisely determined. We can precisely check the subject matter by examination or by sale by description. We can see or examine at the time of contract. Examination is necessary when subject matter is present in session of the contract. In second case, description must be detailed enough to do away with any vagueness or uncertainty. So description should be in detail to avoid any uncertainty or vagueness, for elimination of future tussle or conflict between the buyer and the seller. So number 5 and last is the legality of underlying cause. What is the intention of the buyer or the seller for concluding a contract? The underlying cause must be legal. That should not be against Sharia. Contract made for use of property in commission of an offense. When the parties know this fact, this is unlawful, because their intention is to commit an offense. So such subject matter is not valid. We can understand with some example. Selling a weapon to a person who intends to kill some innocent people, so that weapon cannot be subject matter, because underlying cause is not good. Underlying cause is against Sharia. Contract made to use property for commission of offense. So such property cannot be subject matter, cannot be valid subject matter, because this property has been taken for committing an offense. Sale of grapes to a person who intends to make wine from grapes. So in this case, grapes cannot be subject matter, or such contract is invalid, because the underlying cause or underlying intention of the buyer is not good. So leasing a property for brothel, so this contract is invalid because underlying cause is not good. We can further elaborate it. Any contract which promotes immorality is invalid. Any contract which is against the public policy is invalid. Any contract which is harmful to the person, to the property, are void. So giving a loan for a person who intends gambling from that loan, so such contract of that loan is invalid. Contract of marriage for facilitating remarriage is invalid. Giving 100 for credit for loan and then prompt to buy at 80. So this is invalid. We can understand this with example. Suppose selling a book of 100 for credit and then buying back that book at 80 is not valid because here underlying cause is not good. So our reference book for today's video was Islamic Law of Contract and Business Transaction by Dr. Tahir Mansouri. At the end, I shall say it is very much essential to say, may Allah forgive my mistake in content and concept. Thank you.